All right, Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'Kakwadash, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS. I'm just gonna get straight to it, and we understand the climate of the world and what's going on. With the CBDC, everything's being put in place, or everything is in place for the CHIP, the CHIP to be brought into full effect, for the people to be relying on the government for any and everything by way of the digital currency that is on the way. And we all know what that is going to lead to. And this is Revelation 13 and 16, and it says, "And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead." And we all know what that mark is. It's the CHIP. Something implanted in you, and they have the technology to make it happen. And they're going to fight tooth and nail to make it happen for the people to be completely reliant on what the government's going to give them. And they're going to set things up for people to have no choice but to accept it. And those that don't accept it will be, for lack of better word, the only word for it is death. People are going to be put to death behind what these people have planned. They're going to start showing their horns. It says, "And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." And this is going to cause uproars of the people when this thing is really set up to go out to the whole earth. It's going to cause more uproars, which there are uproars of the people going on right now. When they cut everything off, when they cut off everybody's way of life in the very near future. Things are going to get really, really bad out here. It's going to cause people, I hope I'm spelling it right, to do things, for lack of a better term, that we have only seen in movies, and things that we haven't seen in movies, because things are going to get just that bad out here in the earth. Second Esdras 15 and 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes." And when these things get to start happening, nobody's going to regard those people that are in charge. They're not going to care about what local law enforcement are doing. They're probably, law enforcement officials are going to be quitting and leaving their post in this time. All these things are going to be happening simultaneously all throughout the earth, which they're happening on a small scale now compared to what they are going to be. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able." We're not even going to be able to go anywhere. Everything's going to be on lockdown. Martial law is going to be in full effect. People are going to be rounded up, taken to certain areas where they're going to be forcing the CHIP on them. All chaos is going to be going on at the same time. Verse 18, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Men are going to be afraid in these times. What men? All men, for that matter, but the hopefully elect are going to know in their minds that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is not going to leave them hanging, whoever they may be. You know, everything's going to be, it's just going to be total chaos out here. You know, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. It's going to be terrible out here. There's not going to be any food also. They're going to cut off, you know, just pretty much survival out here, which people survive now by going to the grocery store, buying the groceries to last them for a week or two. It's not going to be that anymore, you know. Everybody's going to be going from house to house trying to find something to eat, and it's going to cause people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. Because when someone's hungry, you know, they're going to do what they have to do to eat. And when people, a quote, forgot who said it, when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. And we are about to witness this on a major scale all throughout the earth, you know, which we can see populations of different countries losing it, which the media in America is really not reporting on certain things that's going on throughout the earth. You know, people are standing up and refusing to continue on with the crazy ways that these leaders run the earth. People have waken up. People have woken up. Even people in America have woken up, and things are going to get worse over here in the very near future. You know, that's the reason why these scriptures are speaking, trying to let people know what's going on. That's why Yahweh Shem Yahushua has his prophets out telling people what's going on. And we can see it all day, every day. You know, these things are happening for a reason, and they actually are a good reason to usher in the kingdom of heaven. You know, and there's a lot of people that's going to take that C-hip because they're going to be thinking about how they're going to take care of their families. They talk, you know, they're going to think about how they're going to be able to survive, how they're going to pay this, how they're going to pay that, which those people lack a vital ingredient in order to survive in the days to come, and that's called faith. They lack it. They don't have faith. They don't have the faith that's needed in order to survive, you know. And if they take that C-hip, things are not gonna go too well for them, you know. Because then if you take it, then you're gonna have to deal with the destruction of this place. You're gonna have to deal with the calamities, and you're not gonna have any protection from none of the calamities or the destruction that's coming to this place. You know, and the Most High always looks out for those that trust in him. This is Revelation 14 and 9, and it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. And everybody that accepts that, that's what's going to be your future. You're going to be burned in the presence of the angels, in the presence of our Lord Yahushua. They're going to be looking down on you being burned in this place. They're going to be looking down at you being destroyed right along with America, whether you be an Israelite or of the other nations. No one is going to be exempt for not having faith and not believing in these last days. And you're showing your unbelief by accepting the C-hip. You're showing your unfaithfulness by receiving, accepting the C-hip whenever they make it mandatory all throughout the earth, whenever they make it mandatory for survival. You know? There's not going to be any pity in that day. The Most High is not going to spare anyone in that day that accepts what these devils, what these evil people have in store. He's just not going to accept it. You know, you're going to be done away with right along with this place, right along with the people that's coming up with these unrighteous decrees, because that's what it all boils down to. Their unrighteous decrees for having somebody to put something in their body, you know, by making everything terrible, by taking everything else away them and then giving them the solution of implanting something in their body. That's an unrighteous decree. You know, doing all of this to benefit the few elites, so-called elites that run the earth. It's only benefiting them, but it's at the detriment of the people on the bottom, which are us. You know? And that's what we have to be saved from, not only from ourselves, but also from the people that run this earth. That's why Yahweh Shai is going to return, to save us out of the hand of these tyrannical, evil, you know, people. And they're going to get what's coming to them for coming up with all these laws to benefit them and not the people that they govern over. This is Isaiah 10:1, and it says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. That's right, woe to them. All these people that come up with these different laws that benefit them, but does nothing to help anybody below them. Woe to them, which means destruction. And their right grievousness, which they have prescribed. Yeah. The things that they have came up with in their evil, wicked minds. They come up with these things and then they make it law. You know, not for the benefit of anyone but themselves and their private interests, to line their pockets with more cash. You know. And them bringing that C-hip, you know, out, that's nothing but benefit them and making everybody perpetual slaves. If you were to take that thing, you're pretty much saying that they have rule over you, mind, body, and soul. If you take it, you know, because there's no protection afforded you whenever it goes down. You're going to receive the same fate as those that came up with it, you know. Verse 2 says, turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Everything they're doing is for the benefit of them and to the detriment of those that they rule over. You know? This is the book of Jeremiah 22:13. It says, woe to them that buildeth his house by unrighteousness. And that's what he's continuing to do. He's continuing, these elites, they're continuing to build their house by unrighteousness. And making this C-hip mandatory like they're going to do in the near future. Coming up with these different digital currencies, you know. He's continuing to build his house by unrighteousness. And it says, woe to them. Woe means destruction. And that's what's coming to this place in this whole beast system. And his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages, giveth him not for his work. And he also does that too. You know? And that's what they do. And they're continuing to do that. You know, but that house is going to be burned down. We'll go to the book of Habakkuk 2:9, and it says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And that's what he's trying to do by taking over the whole earth, trying to deliver himself from evil, you know, by committing all these evil acts and coming up with all these evil laws. But he's not going to be able to deliver himself in those days, because it is the Most High that creates peace and he creates evil. So all of this is essentially coming from the throne of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, verse 10 says, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and has sinned against thy soul. And that's what they're doing by coming up with these unrighteous decrees in these end days. They're cutting off many people. All the people that accept, all the people of Israel that accept this MOTB, you know, the CHIP, all of those that accept it is going to be cut off. You know, they're going to have to pay for that also. You know, verse 11 says, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of his timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town by blood, and establish a city by iniquity. And who's done that more than Esau, Edom? Who's doing it now? Who's in rulership? They built everything they have. Everything that they have, they took it by blood. They built it by the blood of the people that they conquered in the times that they conquered them. So he's going to have to pay for that also. There's a long list of things that Esau, Edom has to pay for. And this is only the last thing that he's going to have to pay for. The last thing on a long list. So hopefully you were edified. Shalom.